State Treasurer David McRae is joining me now. David, it's nice to meet you.
Well, good to see you. Great to meet you and glad to be here this Friday morning.
So the Mississippi College Savings Program is taking enrollments now, but it closes at the end of the month. Tell us about this program, which is great for parents who are planning for their kids' future.
Well, this is our college savings program that we have offered at the state for quite a while now. It's our 529 program. It's a way for parents, grandparents to pay and help their grandchild save for college. These are great plans. We have two fantastic plans we offer here at the State Treasury in Mississippi. It's our prepaid. One is our prepaid plan, which is if it costs $1 today, it'll cost $1 tomorrow. And, you can always guarantee two things in life. I can put a third now. Death and taxes are always going to be a guarantee in life, but now you can guarantee college tuition is going to go up. So, the idea is that if you could prepay that today, you're saving your child from debt. And the other one is our our max plan, which costs as little as $25 to start that plan. And that is a little bit more flexible than our prepaid one. That one can go to room, board, tuition, parking passes, food, things of that nature. It's very, very flexible, but it's very affordable. We've seen an increase in both plans by 30%. And you said it right, and I'd be amiss not to bring this up, but the prepaid one only shuts down at the end of the month so that we can reevaluate it based upon tuition increases that the colleges will be doing over the summer.
So how does the prepaid one work? Do you have to lock your kid into which university, which college they want to go to, and the kid wouldn't have a choice if they change their mind when they graduate?
Oh, of course not. No. The way it works is that if it's they can go to any college they want, and it's really for public schools, public institutions here in Mississippi, HBCUs, community colleges, things like that. If they want to go to private school, there is a formula on the website that will figure that out, but it's really meant to go to public institutions here in Mississippi. But all it does is just locks in a rate today, how much it costs. So again, like I said earlier, if it costs $1 to go to college today, it will cost $1 later. We see most people using these plans when their child is first born. So I can guarantee you in 18 years that college tuition is going to go up. We see a lot of people using them before their child gets to third grade because if you do the math, around third grade is halfway to college. And we see people locking them in. But there is never a too late to lock in a prepaid college tuition. The idea that these funds and these 529 programs have, the basis behind them, is to make sure, one, your child goes to school and college and get them into college. But the other is to not have debt. I mean, we see in the national media, we see in the state media, debt is a massive problem here nationally and locally. The average tuition in the last 20 years has gone up 133%. In Mississippi, since I've been here, it's gone up 6%. And, debt is such a burden upon young people when they graduate. It affects major life decisions. It affects when they have a family. It affects where they work. It affects when they buy a house, if they ever buy a house. And, we always talk about the brain drain here in Mississippi. I mean, every politician will talk about the brain drain. And one of the main factors of the brain drain is debt. And if a child can go and with as little as debt as possible graduate college or with no debt, then they can stay here in Mississippi and have great productive lives. And we want them to stay here in Mississippi.
Well, not to necessarily go on a tangent, but I think part of the reason why these tuitions continue to climb as rapidly as they do is the way the federal student loan program has been structured, and students are making decisions about long-term debt for their education. And colleges, in some cases, are taking advantage of that by continually raising their tuition rates, knowing that the student loan program is there to pay for it and put these kids who are 17, 18 years old into debt before they even get their first real job.
Well, you're right. I mean, that is it. And, colleges are a business. Let's not forget it. They have to build new stuff. They have to have new dorms, new parking lots, new things. And those cost money. I mean, you're always it's essentially an arms race. Colleges are. Ole Miss is in an arms race with State or Southern or any other school in Mississippi, and you have to keep up with the Joneses essentially. And, as time goes on, that's going to cause tuition to go up. And, again, if you can lock in a rate today, then, you're well ahead of the curve. I mean,
what are tuitions in the state these days?
They are, I would have to look. They're more expensive than they were when I went to college 25 years ago. So. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's certainly more expensive than when I went to Spring Hill College, Jesuit University in Mobile. I would not have been able to go to college without going into severe debt had I not been able to win a scholarship to Spring Hill College. Even then, in '87, college tuitions were unachievable for a lot of people with my family's financial background.
Well, what we're seeing now, especially, is that we're seeing a lot of people going to community college for the first 2 years of their college experience, and then taking the basic classes that they need that they would have taken their freshman or sophomore year at Ole Miss or State or any other in-state school, and then kind of knocking it out of the park at the community college, getting a scholarship, and going straight into what would be finishing their last 2 years at a 4-year institution. I can attest to this personally, because I had an intern at the Treasury who was into accounting, and she got a kind of half scholarship to Mississippi State, and decided that she wanted to get a full scholarship. So she went to community college down in Laurel Jones and killed it, and got a full scholarship to State and transferred to State. So that saved money, and I think she used her college savings account for the community college, and then got a full ride into the 4-year college.
That's the smart way to do it, and of course, not to take anything away from the trades and the trade schools either. You don't necessarily, although I think that there are so many benefits to a college education, there's some great job opportunities in skilled trades as well that could let you get a good job, a well-paying job, without the expense of a 4-year university.
Well, you're right. I mean, I've been touring the community colleges all around the state for the last year and a half, and talking with the presidents of these community colleges, touring the facilities, touring their vocational training programs, talking really in depth to them about that. But you're right. There are such great jobs that these community colleges are training young people to do. A welder can make, $80,000, $90,000 here in Mississippi. A nurse can make $90,000. A plumber, which is almost impossible to find in Jackson, can make around $70,000, $65,000. I mean, these are great jobs. These are great jobs that pay very well, and you're going to 2 years or a year and a half of school, you're going to be making more money than most people who are graduating a 4-year institution. And not to say that you can't go back to college after you're done. And remember, the idea is no debt. So if you're making money, then the likelihood of you having any debt upon going back to college at an older age, then you're probably not going to have debt.
State Treasurer David McRae here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Tell us how the 529 program works, where you go to sign up, what you need to know to sign up for it, and the deadlines.
Well, the deadline, to sign up, let's start there. That's the best thing. To sign up, you go to treasury.ms.gov. We have a ton of information there. You can sign up from there. If you still have questions, you can email my office. You can call my office. They'll be more than happy to talk to you and get you one that works for you, whether it's the prepaid one or the max plan. And the prepaid one only, it closes for the summer. It'll open back up in September, but it closes for the summer at the end of May next week, and then it'll open up back up right after Labor Day in September. And if you want to lock in a cheaper rate, I can't guarantee it's going to go up, but it might. But if you want to lock in today's rate, you need to do it within the week.
Does this money come out pre-tax?
It does.
And that's another great benefit.
So I wish I could explain more about the taxes, but when I went to law school, I avoided tax classes like the plague, and so I went more finance. So here we are.
Yeah, it's a great program. I think everybody that believes their child will be going to college should plan and look into this program. If your child decides not to go to college and you've got that money there, is it withdrawable? How can you use that money if you don't use it for a college?
Well, if you don't use it for college or you get a scholarship, we see this all the time. and the child doesn't, you can get that money back. It's yours. It's free and clear, and we explain that on the website. So treasury.ms.gov if that's something that's affecting you today.
And that's why the other 529 program that includes books and meals and dorms and everything else could be beneficial, because there are so many add-on expenses when you go to school that you're not taking into account besides tuition.
There are a ton of add-on expenses. I mean, it is just add-on upon add-on. So,
State Treasurer David McRae, great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mornings with Richard Cross here on Super Talk Mississippi continues. I'm Scott Sands.